Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Committee on Promoting Work Life Balance of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, I extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to all of you to this very meaningful webinar on recharge and refocus cultivating mental health wellness. We as professionals often find ourselves caught in the fast paced demands of work and responsibilities. Today's session is an opportunity to pause, breathe, and reflect on something equally important, our mental well being. Let's take this time to connect, learn, and most importantly, recharge. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce the dignitaries who have graciously joined us this evening. CA Jayachayra sir, Chairman of the Committee on Promoting Work-Life Balance. And we don't have here with us the Vice Chairman of the committee, CA Sridhar Muppala sir. Their continued dedication to promoting holistic development for members of the CA fraternity is deeply inspiring. Mm, And I would like to invite CA Jay Chera sir for speaking. But before inviting him, I would like to introduce him. He's associated with ICI activities since 1995. He has served as a chairman Surat ICI in 2005 and went on to become the vice chairman of WIRC in the year 2012. He has served in the Central Council for 3 consecutive terms. He has chaired more than 30 national and international committees. He has been awarded by the President of India for getting first in India in research and also awarded by the Chief Minister of Gujarat for science and research. His approach is towards holistic development of an individual and his activities are evident of it. Sir, I have heard you a lot of times, so I would request you to please provide your welcome remarks.
Thank you very much, Millie. A very good evening to all of you. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Actually, I just come to the hotel from the innovation conference that is going on in Pune. And yesterday here the network was not set, so I was just asking. Well, friends, a very good evening to all of you. Uh, Today we have a very important session. Before that, let me just very quickly talk about the Work-Life Balance Committee. This year, the President ICI initially gave me 3 important committees. That is the Professional Skills Enrichment Committee, the Directorate for Finance and Tax Literacy, and Impact Financing. And after 2 days, I received a call. He asked, "Okay, bhai, should we have a work-life balance committee?" I said, "Sir, why not? Yes, it's a very crucial committee for chartered accountants." And then he said, "Why don't you chair it?" I said, "Sir, it is up to you. Whatever committees you assign to me, I'll work upon it." So, when initially some chartered accountants understood about this work life balance committee, then we had a mixed opinion. Some chartered accountants said that, "Oh, this is a very important committee. You see, these days there is too much of work, there is too much of stress, so we require work life balance committee." And there were a few. And this is not an important committee. Income tax committee and GST committee, these are the committees also require. So anyway, this is how people have different perspectives. According to me, this is one of the most important committees. Why? First and foremost thing, if a chartered accountant friend of mine says that he's stressed, then he's giving stress to me. Why? For what reason? For what reason there should be any stress? And if there is any stress, you are so innovative, you are so creative in creating it. It does not come on its own. You have to work hard to get the stress. Friends, what is stress? I'll put it very simple. Alekhya is a very wonderful speaker. I have heard her in my program at the International Yoga Day. And at that point of time only, I discussed with my committee about her. And today she is with us on this wonderful topic. But Alekhya, you know what is stress if you look at it? Let me put it in a very simple way. And then we'll come to this mindset and all these things, right? Mental wellness and all. Stress, as many people say, there is stress. Or a youngsters telling there is stress. How innovative you are? Well, suppose I go to gym regularly and I daily have 10 kilo dumbbells, 10 kgs. Today you give me 6 kg dumbbell, 5 kg dumbbell. Do you think I'll have any problem? The answer is no. But today you give me 30 kg and you give me, will we have some problem? Yes. So that means if I'm strong up to this level, below this, if you give something, I'm not stressed. But if I get something above, then I'm stressed. So stress is indirectly my inability to cope up with the circumstances. Now, can you change the circumstances? The answer is no. Now, interestingly, let me put it this way. This is the country of Krishna. This is the country of Rama, Mahavir, Buddha, and all. Now, suppose you are going to be coronated as a king, and the next day you come to know, no, 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 no. For 14 years, you have to go to exile. And still, and still, you are at ease, no stress. Then you become Lord Rama, right? Similarly, you are born, you are born in a prison and immediately snatched from your parents. Still, still, you are a wonderful being. Then you become Lord Krishna. So let us understand this is a nation wherever we pray, whether Mahavir, Buddha, or whoever, just look at them. They could cope up with the circumstances. Circumstances are not suitable to them. They could cope up with them. And they become wonderful, divine human beings. So, stress is something what I think by way of wrong choices. Life is about choices, right? Whether you say time management, I many times say life management or choice management. I have a choice in the morning to get up early and go for yoga or walking, or I have a choice to go to jump into my mobile with my Instagram. Now, whatever I choose, that will decide what is my mindset. So, yesterday we were sitting with the president ICI and we were having some wonderful discussions. After the session, we had so many sessions on AI. And after that, at night while we were sitting, we are discussing about the skill set. That along with your professional acumen, skill sets are very important. Interpersonal skills. And I say that along with skill set, another very important thing is will set. If you have the will set, you will get the skill set. And if you have the skills, you will get all the domain expertise. But vice versa, I'm not sure whether it will happen or not. So I think if something has to be worked upon, the most important thing, that is mind. And I think that is how we are a different species. There are thousands and lakhs of species, and with due respect to each and every species, because we are Indians. We are Indians, and we know that there is life equally important for each and every species. Lord Mahavira said that if I consider myself more important than an ant, then I'm ignorant. Now, this is India. This is India, right? So, but all the species, they live a little, we can say, unconsciously, right? While human beings have been given the mind, right, who can live consciously, right? Of course, brain is not the same as mind, but let us not go into the details of that. But the very, very, very important thing is yes, mind. Now, what happens, Alekhya? Another issue is somebody comes to me and starts bombarding at me. You are like this, you are lazy, or you are this, whatever. And I'm disturbed. And then I say that he disturbed me. While the actual answer is no, I allowed him to disturb. That means I have given my remote control in the hands of that person. It is his right, or maybe right, wrong, whatever the case may be. It is his part, whatever he did. Now it is my choice. Now it is my choice to respond naturally, having means, what is my situation? In the morning, I go for a walk. I get 40 people. And out of 40, 39 people would say, oh, you are fantastic. You are doing great. You did this, that. You did it. And I'm happy. Once again, remote I have given to them. And the 40th person says, you are stupid. You don't know how to do the work. And then I get angry. right? You are talking to me like this. And then I start, becoming bechara. Somebody has done this to me. It is not somebody has done to you. You could be eat at ease, at very much ease with yourself. You don't have control over his mind, but you have control over your mind. And I think that is very, very crucial. Very, very, very crucial. And today we have a fantastic speaker, Alekia, and a very fantastic topic. And I'm sure all the participants today who are with us on this particular program are going to be enlightened in some aspects. I can say it is going to sow a seed, an important seed, right, in your mind, which on a regular basis, if you will nourish, if you will water, then the plant is going to be very, very beautiful. There's going to be some beautiful plant in your life, and we all will be, I would rather say, all the participants today probably are going to give us the feedback that have more such type of sessions. So, with this, let me first thank Priyam Vadaji, who is the secretary of this committee and who is the backbone, who actually does all these things. The committee visualizes that this is what we want to do. But to conceive something is very easy, and to implement is not that very easy. It is Priyam Badaji who actually implements, works after all these other aspects. So thanks a lot to Priyam Badaji. Millie, thanks a lot for accepting our invitation to become the moderator and the most important, our learned speaker, or learned speaker. We talk to many people. Let me say a very happy speaker. I think that would be more suitable. Alekia is going to not deliver a lecture, but is going to, I can say, start spreading happiness, start giving us that mindfulness today. So thank you very much, and back to Millie.
Thanks a lot, Jay sir. It's always a pleasure to hear you because before the topic begins, you always have something to connect to the topic, and I've heard you so many times. It's never the same. You are always giving good references, new references, and your current practical knowledge. So thanks a lot for that. Now, moving on to our session. It now gives me immense pleasure to introduce our speaker for today, Alekhya Shastri, a chartered accountant with over 13 years of global consulting experience. She currently serves as the CEO of PMC Hindi, a media platform reaching over 35 million households, and is the founder of Sensi India, a not for profit promoting mindfulness. She has delivered 3,000 plus talks across India and is a regular speaker at international forums, including the C20 Summit and the Global Conference of Meditation Leaders. Her work beautifully bridges the worlds of corporate strategy and conscious living. We are truly honored to have her guide us through today's session on recharge and refocus, cultivating mental wellness. Ma'am, this virtual stage is all yours. Let us begin with the session.
Thank you so much. Firstly, I think Jay sir has really set the tone. He's raised the bar so high with the high power, energy full talk on the context of defining the word stress. And sir, really grateful, of course, to the president sir, but also especially to you and the entire committee for making this a reality. I started my CA journey in 2007, and during my first PCC failure is when I realized that this चाबी दूसरों के हाथ में दे दिया है हमने. External circumstances defining whether I am unable to cope with the circumstance. External circumstances determining my inner state, how I'm feeling, was my first experience, and that is how I got introduced to this concept that we're going to be sharing today. So, really, sir, thank you so much. And welcome everyone. Thank you so much, Millie. And we're looking forward to an interactive session. So, friends, whatever that we're discussing, you have any questions, you can post online. I'm not sure if I have permission to say this, but I must say that the Work Life Committee is doing an incredible job to create an opportunity for everyone to inculcate happiness, like Sir said, into their life. So I believe there's a retreat that's planned, and more information will be shared with you towards the end of the session. So stay tuned, because Work Life Committee does a lot of work to ensure that we have opportunities so that we can keep connecting to ourselves. So yes, okay, let's begin. And I think I'm going to start with the context that Jay sir itself kept, and we'll build from there. And so the context is understanding what he said is कि हम intelligent है, हमारा हम इवॉल्व्ड बीइंग्स हैं, यानी कि हम रोजी रोटी कपड़ा मकान के लिए नहीं, वी डोंट फाइट फॉर सर्वाइवल स्किल्स, our brain is really evolved. So let's just try to understand that a little bit. On the screen you're going to be able to see that this is our brain. This is a typically well formed brain of a human being, which is broadly divided into three parts. अगर आप typically अगर brain को break up करते हो, वो बोलते नहीं, ये science class नहीं है, but it's important because sir set the context of, एंड ये इत्तेफाक से हो गया, प्लान नहीं था, कि हमारा ब्रेन, हम एक्चुअली मैमल ब्रेन से डेवलप हुआ है फाइनली, वेयर द मोस्ट इवॉल्व्ड ब्रेन स्ट्रक्चर, दैट्स व्हाई हमारा लॉजिकल थिंकिंग, क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग, रीजनिंग, ऑल ऑफ दीज थिंग्स आर एम्बेडेड इन आवर माइंड, राइट? इट्स समथिंग, हम जो भी कर रहे हैं, हम अपने जैसे हम बोलते हैं कि अरे ये बहुत अच्छा एनालिसिस करता है, या इस बंदे का मेमोरी पावर बहुत शार्प है, या एक स्मार्ट, बहुत स्मार्ट बंदा है. यूजुअली व्हेन वी से स्टफ लाइक दिस, व्हाट आर वी एक्चुअली टॉकिंग अबाउट? द स्किल सेट ऑफ द इंडिविजुअल, which is typically how your brain functions. So that's why we're using the example of the brain. So the brain is broadly divided into three parts. I'm not talking about regions. There are 5 regions of the brain, but brain को अगर आप देखोगे तो typically 3 part है. एक part है जो हमारे पूर्वजों से आता है, जो व्हेन वी वर रेप्टिलियंस, जब व्हेन द ब्रेन हैड एक्चुअली स्टार्ट टू डेवलप, जब एक नर्वस सिस्टम डेवलप होना शुरू हुआ था, वी क्रिएटेड द रेप्टिलियन ब्रेन. दैट्स आर अनकॉन्शियस ब्रेन, वी डोंट नो अबाउट इट. जो भी हमारे सर्वाइवल इंस्टिंक्ट्स हैं, ये सारी चीजें हमारे सेरेबेलम, हमारे रेप्टिलियन ब्रेन में एग्जिस्ट करता है. Now, the second kind of brain is the limbic brain. Now, this is the brain which actually takes care of everything in your life. And I'm going to talk more about it, but not from the point of view of the anatomy of your brain, but just for you to understand what actually happens. This is the more involved mammalian brain, जहां पर आपकी emotions, आपकी memories, आपकी belief systems, आपकी motor control skills, आपकी इच्छाएं, आपके attitudes, आपके behaviors, आपकी personality traits, everything is in this limbic brain part. This limbic brain has multiple features, and आप लोगों को, बहुत सारे लोगों ने ये सुना होगा, adrenaline kick की वजह से हमारा fight or flight response है, ये इसी limbic brain में ही amygdala करके एक part है जिसमें ये stored होता है. I'm not going to go too detail into it, but we have to understand. तो जो हम अपने आप को समझते हैं कि ये मेरा ब्रेन है, ये इसकी सारी स्किल सेट्स हैं, ये ब्रॉडली 2 मेजर पार्ट्स में डिवाइडेड होता है. एक हमारा कॉन्शियस ब्रेन, यानी कि आपका नियोकॉर्टेक्स ब्रेन, जो अभी जो मैं बोल रही हूँ, जो आप सूंघ पा रहे हैं, जो वॉट एवर कॉम्प्रिहेंशन की जो बेसिक क्राइटेरिया होती है टू अंडरस्टैंड योर एनवायरमेंट, that's part of your neocortex. Now, our brain is primarily divided into these 3 parts. Now, how does the brain actually communicate? For example, if right now I ask you to imagine pehli barish. Can you remember the memory of your first rain? And if you think of the first thing, you'll remember either the smell of that गीली मिट्टी. One example. Second example. And अगर आप 99% of the times I've tried this, if I say बारिश, सबसे पहले लोग गीली मिट्टी ही सोचते हैं. If you have happy memories associated with it. Now another example. Let's say you are बहुत गर्मी है, ठीक है, दिल्ली की बहुत एक्सट्रीम गर्मी चल रही है, और आप you've been in back to back meetings and you're having to travel from one place to another, and suddenly you think आज अभी ना मुझे प्यास लग रही है. Immediately when I think of प्यास लग रही है, you'll imagine, when the minute you've thought something, you'll realize there's a sensation in your mouth saying, oh, you become aware that, oh, maybe मुझे प्यास लग रही है या नहीं लग रही है. So your brain thinks something, but there is a feeling or a reaction that's created. Now, how does this मैं कुछ सोच रहा हूँ जिसकी वजह से मेरे बॉडी कुछ फील कर रहा है, मैं कुछ इमोशन क्रिएट कर रहा हूँ, इज दिस द ब्रेन एक्टिविटी इन आवर बॉडी राइट नाउ एट दिस पॉइंट इन टाइम। जब एक वेल फॉर्म्ड बॉडी में एक एक शरीर में 86 बिलियन न्यूरॉन्स है। न्यूरॉन्स आर द बिल्डिंग ब्लॉक्स ऑफ द ब्रेन। ओके, अगर ब्रेन को कुछ 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 भी कम्युनिकेट करना है तो ब्रेन के अंदर, हमारे पूरे शरीर के अंदर 86 बिलियन न्यूरॉन्स है। दीज आर सेल्स। ओके, एंड एक न्यूरॉन कम से कम 1000 से 10,000 कनेक्शन रखता है, 1,000 to 10,000। सो ऑन एन एवरेज एक फिजिकल ह्यूमन बीइंग में, यानी कि एक जिसने बस एक एवरेज जिंदगी भी जी हो, बहुत ज्यादा एक्स्ट्रा एक्सट्रावेगेंट नए एक्सपीरियंसेस वाला जिंदगी नहीं, अगर जो हम सो कॉल घिसी पिटी जिंदगी भी अगर जी रहे हो, हमारे शरीर के अंदर 100 बिलियन 100 ट्रिलियन कनेक्शंस एस्टैब्लिश हुए हैं हमारे माइंड के अंदर, इनसाइड आवर बॉडी। ईच न्यूरॉन कैन स्टोर अप टू 60 MB ऑफ डेटा। जब भी आप कुछ सोचते हो जिसकी वजह से आप कुछ फील कर रहे हो, आपकी बॉडी में 10 से 25 वॉट का इलेक्ट्रिक पावर जनरेट होता है, इलेक्ट्रिक इंपल्स जनरेट होता है जब भी दो न्यूरॉन्स फायर करते हैं। Now, when I'm talking about all of these things, we have to understand that the brain is a living, breathing being. It occupies more than 20% ऑफ द इंटायर बॉडी एनर्जी। जो रात को आप जितना भी सोए, जब आप सुबह उठते हो तो ये 20% आपका ब्रेन ही यूटिलाइज करते रहते हैं कुछ भी काम करने के लिए। नाउ बिफोर वी गेट ऑन टू द एक्सरसाइज ऑफ द फॉलोइंग पार्ट, आई हैव अ क्वेश्चन फॉर यू। सो लेट्स टॉक अबाउट द ब्रेन, राइट? ठीक है, हम ब्रेन के बारे में बोल रहे हैं ये सब। सो लाइक आई मेंशन्ड how I got introduced to the concept of stress and how to deal with my stress. So, as a CA student, the first thing that came to my mind was when I failed was oh, और मेरे दिमाग में क्या चल रहा था, अगर एक बारी फेल हो गए तो बार बारी रिपीट करते रहना। दूसरा, जब एग्जाम के लिए प्रिपरेशन कर रही थी कि एक ग्रुप या दो ग्रुप मेरे फाइनल ईयर में, जब मैं प्रिपेयर कर रही थी तो बोला यार इस बारी तो पता नहीं कि इंस्टीट्यूट वाले कितना परसेंटेज, बिकॉज ऑल ऑफ दीज आर मिथ्स। ओके, ये सच है कि नहीं, इट्स वेरी फार फ्रॉम दैट। बट ये जो जानकारी सुन सुन के मेरे माइंड में एक परसेप्शन बन गया था। व्हेन आई एक बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग डीप रूटेड परसेप्शन बन गया था, जो अभी मुझे मुझे उस समय पता भी नहीं था, विच वॉज अगर अच्छा अब मैं फेल हो गई तो अब मुझे बार बार रिपीट करता रहना पड़ेगा। वॉट इफ आई एम नॉट पार्ट ऑफ दैट 3% और 4% जो पास होने वाले हैं? वॉट विल आई डू? ऑल माई फ्रेंड्स, यार मैंने सीए क्यों ले लिया, मेरे सारे फ्रेंड्स तो बाहर चले गए पढ़ाई करने के लिए, अच्छे मार्क्स ही आ जाते तो मैं दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी शिफ्ट हो जाती। नाउ व्हाट डू आई डू? यू सो माई ब्रेन इज थिंकिंग साइमल्टेनियसली ऑल ऑफ दीज थिंग्स। अब ये सारी मेंटल एक्टिविटी है, बट ये मेंटल एक्टिविटी को मेरे बॉडी में हर वक्त ये डबल एंट्री सिस्टम बॉडी के अंदर भी चलता रहता है। जो मेंटल एक्टिविटी आप थॉट के लेवल पर आप क्रिएट करते हो, वो एक आइडिया आता है, उस थॉट को एग्जीक्यूट करने के लिए आपके सारे न्यूरॉन्स तैयार रहते हैं, कमांड सेंटर तैयार रहता है बोलने के लिए ओके नाउ वॉट एवर शी इज थिंकिंग नाउ वी हैव टू हेल्प। सो द कॉन्शियस ब्रेन थिंक्स समथिंग और सबकॉन्शियस ब्रेन इज द प्रोसेसिंग सेंटर जो वेट करता रहता है जानकारी के लिए कि अच्छा ये क्या कमांड आएगा ताकि हम कुछ इनपुट देके उसको एक आउटपुट क्रिएट कर सके। So the double entry system is every time you think something, the body has to match it with an emotion, a feeling or an emotion. That's what happens. पहली बारी आपको आपने कभी फेलियर एक्सपीरियंस किया हो, और forget about failure, when you were a small kid and maybe you have a younger sibling and your parents said अरे उसका देख क्या, यंगर सिबलिंग भी नहीं है तो घर वाले जो आसपास के रिलेटिव्स भी होते हैं, आपके फैमिली या फ्रेंड्स ने किसी ने बोला था कि यार उसको देख वो इतना पढ़ाकू है, वो इतने अच्छे मार्क्स लगता है, तू तो बिल्कुल कुछ भी नहीं करता है। और you know you're compared and you think you're not that good, or you felt at that time like when your mom compared you and you're thinking oh my mom doesn't understand me, my mom thinks other person is better। ना पहली बारी मेरे दिमाग में कुछ थॉट क्रिएट हुआ, राइट? लेट्स टेक दिस एग्जांपल। मेरी मॉम ने मुझे कंपेयर करके बोला तू इतना नालायक है, उसका देख वो इतना डिसिप्लिन्ड है, इतने अच्छे मार्क्स लाता है, तू क्यों ऐसा क्यों है? मम्मी तो बोलती है, हमारे बचपन में बहुत सारी चीजें होती है, तो मम्मी ने पहली बारी आपको कुछ बोला होगा, एक थॉट आया। नाउ एक्सटर्नल, सर ने जैसे बताया था, जय सर ने, बाहर से कुछ एक्सटर्नल स्टिम्युलस आया और मेरे ब्रेन में अब एक थॉट आया, ओ माय मॉम इज नॉट हैप्पी विथ मी। एक थॉट को अब डबल एंट्री सिस्टम के हिसाब से मेरा बॉडी क्या करता है, उस थॉट को मैच करने के लिए वो एक इमोशन जनरेट करता है. So that emotion can be adrenaline or cortisol. These both are stress hormones. Okay. For the sake of simplifying, I'm just going to talk about these two hormones. But इसके साथ बहुत सारे neurotransmitters, बहुत सारी चीजें हमारे बॉडी में सिक्रीट होता है इसको बैलेंस आउट करने के लिए. इस थॉट को एक मेंटल लेवल पे कन्वर्ट करने के लिए, इसकी डबल एंट्री करने के लिए मेरा बॉडी एक इमोशन सिक्रीट करता है इन द फॉर्म ऑफ अ हार्मोन कॉल्ड आइदर एड्रेनालिन या कॉर्टिसोल. एड्रेनालिन मेरे अंदर बहुत सारा एनर्जी सर्च करके मुझे आइदर एनर्जी देगा मेरी मॉम को बोलने के लिए, अच्छा आपको नहीं पता वो कैसे करता है, वो ऐसे ही है करके, या आप बहुत ज्यादा इंट्रोवर्टेड होके आप कुछ भी नहीं बोलते और यू थ्रो टैंट्रम और यू स्टार्ट क्राइंग. दिस प्रोसेस हैपेंस वंस. ओके, थॉट हैज हैपेंड, एक विचार आया, आपने कुछ थॉट क्रिएट किया और इस थॉट को मैच करने के लिए आपकी बॉडी ने एक इमोशन क्रिएट किया. This is the first time. So the conscious mind, when you were a small kid, your conscious mind यानी कि आपका नियर कॉर्टेक्स में जो भी आपको थॉट आया, आपके सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में अगर कुछ डेटा नहीं होता, कोई पास्ट डेटा नहीं है, अगर पहली बारी वो सिचुएशन क्रिएट हुआ है, सो इट्स वेरी सिंपल, you will just create that situation, you'll deal with the situation, move out. Okay, now if you don't have coping mechanisms to deal with this situation, okay, और आपके माइंड पे आपका कंट्रोल नहीं है, जैसे the entire purpose of this session is to understand the power of the mind. If you don't have control over your mind, if you don't know how to deal with this, and let's say कुछ मिनट के लिए वो रिएक्शन आपके शरीर के अंदर आया, सो थॉट हुआ, फिर इमोशन क्रिएट हुआ, ये प्रोसेस 90 सेकेंड्स में कंप्लीट हो जाता है. ओके, बट लेट्स से फॉर एग्जांपल यू स्टे ऑन इट फॉर अ लॉन्गर पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. सो यू कीप थिंकिंग अगेन, मे बी सुबह ये सिचुएशन हुआ, रात को फिर से आपके दिमाग में एक थॉट आया, यार मम्मा ने मुझे कंपेयर किया था, सो मेमोरी आया आपके सामने, तो फिर से ब्रेन नहीं जानता कि बाहर कुछ एक्चुअली हो रहा है या आपके मन के अंदर ही कुछ आप विचार सोच रहे हो. सो द ब्रेन डजंट नो द डिफरेंस. So when I'm closing my eyes and I'm recalling that memory again inside my mind, the first thing that happens is as soon as I recall, again a thought comes. Now let us say for example I end up getting the same thought again. Oh, but mom does not love me. She's comparing me to that person all the time and I'm not enjoying it. She doesn't love me, or she doesn't think I'm worthy. Yeah, she doesn't respect me, or she doesn't believe that I'm good enough. My mom does not think I'm good enough. Thought create हुआ, thought को match करने के लिए फिर से आपका emotion create होता है. That emotion is again of adrenaline and cortisol. Because this thought is not a positive thought, it's not an empowering thought. ये thought आपके mind में एक नेगेटिव परसेप्शन क्रिएट कर रहा है कि यू आर नॉट गुड इनफ. आप हो या नहीं हो वो अलग है, पर आपने ही अपने माइंड में एक परसेप्शन क्रिएट किया है कि आपकी मम्मी आपको पूरी तरह से नहीं समझ पा रही. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, सो आई कम बैक, सो मेरा लेट्स से सुबह 8 बजे 9 बजे की लड़ाई हुई और रात को फिर से मैंने 8 9 बजे सोचा इसके बारे में. इन दैट 12 hour cycle, what I have done is, if I remember that same thing again, now I am telling my brain, I, Alekha, I'm telling my brain to this command that whenever this kind of thought comes, इसके साथ जो रिएक्शन आना चाहिए, जैसे जैसे मम्मी लड़ाई करती है, मम्मी मुझे कंपेयर करती है, या कोई भी मुझे, मम्मी भी नहीं, आफ्टर सर्टेन पॉइंट हट जाती है, अगर कोई भी मुझे कंपेयर करता है या बोलता है दूसरे बंदे अच्छे हैं, या दूसरे लोगों को प्रशंसा दिया जाता है और मुझे नहीं प्रशंसा दिया जाता, वॉट एवर इज द सिचुएशन, आई इमीडिएटली स्टार्ट टू फील दैट इमोशन इन माई बॉडी, because I just trained my body for 12 hours. If I do it for a little period of time, if it's just a 12-hour period, आप बोलोगे अरे इसका मूड खराब है, right? This is what science also talks about. If my mood is just generally not okay, then I'll say ये 12 घंटे के पीरियड में I'll say इसका मूड ऑफ है, मूड इज ऑफ. Now over a period of time, again some similar situation has happened. My teacher has scolded me in front of someone now, or my teacher is telling me, why don't you do your homework, or my teacher is telling me you're not doing well, or you're not understanding what I'm saying. Yeah, whatever has triggered you in your mind now, because अब आपकी subconscious mind में एक memory बैठ गया है, एक स्टोरेज हो गया है, एक डेटाबेस क्रिएट हो रहा है कि जब भी अगर कोई आपको ऐसे कंपेयर करता है या आपको कुछ भी बोलता है जो आपके आईज में आपके फेवर में नहीं है, आपके परसेप्शन में it's not in your favor, the first thing that you'll do is you've trained your brain कि when such a thought comes or when such a situation comes, whether outside or inside my mind, my body is going to create that same emotional chemical reaction, which is the reaction of adrenaline or cortisol. Now, over a period of time, if this mood continues and I do not know how to deal with this situation of mine, I don't know how to break that pattern. एक आदत जो मेरे ब्रेन में बन रहा है कि जब भी एक न्यूरल पाथवे बन चुका है, एक न्यूरॉन दूसरे न्यूरॉन के साथ जो एक हाईवे बन चुका है, जब अगर मैं उसको टेक केयर नहीं करती, आई डोंट हैव टूल्स और मैकेनिज्म्स टू डू दैट, my brain is just going to keep on repeating these thought patterns again and again. Now, what actually happens when we consistently go on creating is, at one point, if it's only for a few seconds and minutes, it's our state of being. If it's for a couple of minutes, maybe a few hours and days, maybe even a few weeks, if I go through that same thought and that thought is creating the same form of feeling again and again, I develop an attitude. तो अक्सर जो यंगस्टर्स का हम बोलते हैं कि अरे ये बहुत नक्चड़ है या बहुत रोंदू है या whatever the typecasted reactional modes that we give to a personality, they all start to get formed because I don't know how to break that pattern of my thought to feeling. Thought आया, अब feeling को match करने के लिए मेरा body कुछ create कर रहा है. यही चीज अगर आप यही एटीट्यूड को बहुत लंबे समय तक मेंटेन करके रखते हो, ये हमारी बिलीफ सिस्टम बन जाती है. दे ऑल बिकम आवर बिलीफ सिस्टम, आर विचार धारणा, आर मान्यताएं, एज यू कैन कॉल इट. आफ्टर पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, if these beliefs continue even for a decade, now you have what is called a perception. Our personality creates our personal reality and we don't even know it. Our personality, that what we think is I am like this, मैं ऐसा ही हूँ, I am a, I'm a very disciplined person. Yeah, I feel like I'm a very lazy person. Yeah, I don't like it when someone talks to me like that. और मैं stress में बहुत अच्छे से काम करता हूँ. Whatever belief system that you have about yourself is simply just a perception. आप जानते भी नहीं हो that you just think something about yourself. It's actually not true at all. It's just a chemical reaction that has happened for a long period of time where you've thought something and that thought has become a feeling. Now, when your body knows better than your mind, that becomes a habit. जब आप जानते भी नहीं हो, जैसे जैसे जय सर ने कहा था कि when you don't even know how to deal with that situation, when you don't know how to deal with the situation, is that no new thoughts are getting created in your mind. The same old thoughts keep on getting recycled. So if someone comes to me and says, hey, this is your deadline and you have to work as per this deadline, the first thing that your brain is thinking is, oh, time is not enough, I have to work so hard to make this happen. I have to put in so many long hours to create a good quality output. The immediate thought of that particular external stimulus has started to now trigger your internal feelings of stress. Stress is nothing but the over secretion of those hormones which are not needed in your body. Over secretion, मैंने कहा. हमारे ब्रेन में जो, बिकॉज हम एक रेप्टिलियन ब्रेन, एक फाइट और फ्लाइट रिस्पॉन्स वेरी नेचुरल. Deer knows, a gazelle knows that it has to run away immediately when a lion is coming in because it has to protect itself. So some amount of fear is good enough because that adrenaline kick is good. But when that adrenaline kick in your body is coming only because you don't know आपके सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में आपने क्या क्या परसेप्शंस अपने अपने बारे में, अपने लाइफस्टाइल के बारे में, एनीथिंग, इट कुड बी एनीथिंग रिलेटेड टू योरसेल्फ. Your fear of failure, your fear of being accepted by other people, your fear of being loved, your fear of being able to deal with death, anything. These are very existential fears that we all are born with. It's very, very, very natural. But when we don't have strong enough coping mechanisms to deal with these fears, is when this fear results in excessive secretion of certain hormones which are not helpful for our body. Now, I know that we talk about this. Belief systems is a concept which is spoken about a lot. A lot of people don't even know this. Let me give you some common belief systems. I think everyone has that. That exam pen or exam padne ke pehle, exam jaane ke pehle, my favorite T-shirt, that good luck charm that I have. और जब भी हम कुछ नया शुरू करते हैं, हम ऑफ कोर्स पूजा करते हैं, बट इवन बिलीफ सिस्टम, देयर इज अ बिलीफ सिस्टम अटैच्ड टू puja as well. A belief system related to money. I have to work very hard to be where I am. It Money does not grow on trees. To be a successful businessman, you need to work. You need to put in X number of hours. It's very easy for people who have access to contacts to be able to grow their startup businesses. Or being a CA means that I have to put in long hours. These are all belief systems inside our mind. जैसे मैंने आपको कहा था कि when I started my CA, when I failed in my CA exam, I didn't even realize that I had a fear of failure. The belief system that was embedded in my mind, because मैंने आसपास के environment में यही सुनती रही थी कि अगर भले वो फैक्ट हो ना हो, अगर वो परसेंटेज मेरा नहीं होता, ये आई एम नॉट पार्ट ऑफ दैट परसेंटेज, अगर इंस्टीट्यूट डिसाइड करता है कि आज इस साल सिर्फ 5%, एंड आई एम नॉट सेइंग दिस इज ट्रू, एंड आई एम जस्ट गिविंग एन एग्जांपल दैट the institute only passes 5% of the people in this final lot because there is not enough demand for CAs, for example. और मैं अगर उस 5% में नहीं हूँ, ये एक फैक्ट है कि मे बी 5% का ही मिलता है, बट इसके साथ जो एसोसिएटेड मेरे ब्रेन में थॉट्स आ रहे हैं कि अगर मैं इस 5% में नहीं हूं तो मेरे लाइफ में क्या होगा। कॉन्शियस माइंड में तो ये थॉट है, बट मेरे सबकॉन्शियस माइंड जिसने फ्रूट दिया है, जिसने इसको पुश किया है कि तू ऐसे सोच, इट कम्स बिकॉज I at that point in time had that certain unresolved fear of what if I fail? If I fail, society may, I will not get I will not be respected. If I fail, then maybe I won't, my salary package won't be that great. If I fail, how will I deal with myself? How will I be amongst people? I mean, how will I say, no, मेरी market value नहीं रही। ये सारे fears legit नहीं है, ये सारे fears मेरे लिए motivating नहीं है, बट क्योंकि मेरे सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में ऑलरेडी कुछ फियर ऑफ फेलियर वाले पहले से ही हैबिट्स थे बचपन के, इट जस्ट गेट ट्रिगर्ड, it just gets triggered. Now, I want to do some experiments with you guys to explore whether, for you to understand what perceptions actually are. So, and how your brain works, because हमने इतना brain के बारे में बात किया है. So I'm going to share this. I'm sharing an image on my screen right now. It's a very famous image, and it's the image of the forest. I'd like people to tell me what they're able to see. So आप अपने chat में लिख सकते हैं. What are you able to see right now in this beautiful forest? Yes, Millie. Whatever you're able to see, you can write in the chat box. Yeah. So I have a question for you. How many people are seeing this rider and this horse just strolling down the path? And there's a nice riverbed that the river is flowing through, and these riders are crossing the path. Yeah? Now, I want you to look at this image more closely. How many of y'all can see faces in this image? There's an image here, there's an image here, there's a face 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 here. There are almost 10 faces that are there in this very image.
Yes.
Just a simple thing. What you choose to focus on. So now let's do another experiment. This is called the Adelson illusion. How many of y'all are able to see? And Millie, you'll have to tell me if you're able to see this. अभी आपको ये चेकरबोर्ड दिख रहा है, राइट? इस चेकरबोर्ड में इन दोनों में A और B. How many of y'all see them as two separate colors? A and B. Millie, are you able to see them as two separate,
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
or are
Separate
they two
colors.
similar colors?
No, separate.
Okay, interesting. So now let me show you something else linked to this. This is the original.
Okay.
They're actually two similar colors. A and B are actually the same color. But because of their placement, because of how your brain comprehends and perceives color, they both
Exactly.
look like they're the same thing. We'll go deeper into this and I'll talk more about this. I have another question for you. This is the spinner dance. So now that you look at this wonderful dancing female, do you see this moving clockwise or anti-clockwise?
No. But
Could you repeat?
first is first it was clockwise, but when the video slowed down, it's looking as anti-clockwise.
Which one is it? Clockwise or anti-clockwise?
Honestly confused right now.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Anti,
So,
I guess. Anti-clockwise.
okay. So now I'm going to explain to you what actually happens. Okay. This dancer is actually a two-dimensional silhouette. There's no depth in it. करेक्ट ये सिर्फ 2D था बस एक ही वो बस एक ही डायरेक्शन में वो स्पिन करे जा रही थी बाय द वे देयर इज नो राइट और रॉन्ग आंसर ओके there's no right or wrong answer but what actually happens is if you are able to see clockwise which is that it's going in the right direction you're a more right brain dominant person यानी कि आप ज्यादा क्रिएटिव इंटुइटिव हैं और आप आपका राइट ब्रेन बहुत ज्यादा एक्टिव रहता है अगर आपको दिखा कि एंटी क्लॉकवाइज घूम रहा है अगर आपको क्लॉकवाइज घूमते हुए दिख रहा है दैट मीन्स यूर अ लेफ्ट ब्रेन पर्सन who's left brain dominant person you are probably a little bit more logical and sequential now everyone sees this completely differently Millie, you were able to see them both a little bit of clockwise and a little bit of anti-clockwise so you could say that somehow your brain dominance is in a coherent state right now but those people who are more left brain when I say left brain they're more logical they like things in a sequence way left brain में जो भी neurons है वो one after the other सोचते हैं so it thinks first one first step two step three step four whereas the right brain neurons don't function like that they're always in the here and now so it's always about living in the moment getting more aligned and be like okay ठीक है यार क्या फर्क पड़ता है बाद में देखते हैं अभी का देखते हैं ना करके most right brain people and both have their pros and cons but in the spinning dance image what we are trying to see is that you can this is a top down approach that actually happens inside our body हमारे ब्रेन में your brain is always trying to sense some form of information in the environment वो हर वक्त देखने की कोशिश कर रहा है तो हम actually conditioned है 3D में देखने के लिए हर कुछ so because you don't have enough information your brain is now trying to use information from the prior experiences now you will think, okay, what is a prior experience? I've never seen this. But in your mind, every shape, form, size, smell is actually been embedded already in your subconscious mind. You don't even realize it. But every day in the morning, the way that I'm talking, the way that I dress, everything is actually a conditioning that I have conditioned. I've programmed myself like that. Your mom has raised you in a certain way you were born in a certain culture aap let's say if you're living in Delhi if you're raised in South Delhi you have a different upbringing you have a different personality type let's say if you're raised in East Delhi you have a different personality type your environment is constantly influencing your brain to program itself to condition itself you don't even realize it so the spinning dancer's image is a very strong example to say that even if I want to try to change it एंड आई कैन पुट अ लॉट ऑफ एफर्ट टू सी नहीं नहीं अच्छा उसको क्लॉकवाइज कैसे दिख रहा है या उसको एंटी क्लॉकवाइज कैसे दिख रहा है यू आर गोना टेक अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम आपको बहुत ज्यादा कॉन्सेंट्रेट करना पड़ेगा now the minute you concentrate it actually happens there's a very beautiful thing inside your brain itself जो इस पूरी चीज को चेंज करने के लिए हेल्प करता है it's called the RAS. It's called the reticular activating system. जब तक मैंने आपको फॉरेस्ट की पिक्चर में स्टार्टिंग दिखाया था आपको लगा था अच्छा यार वो तो बस एक घोड़े पर दो लोग हैं एक दो घोड़े हैं एक बंदा है जो उसके ऊपर सवार है दैट्स अ बेसिक थिंग यू ओनली सॉ दैट but the minute I said hey you know what there are a lot of faces in this forest the minute I give you new information inside your mind suddenly that information that was already available became evident to you yes or no now that's what this RAS inside our brain does. We don't have enough information in our brain to perceive these external situations. हमारा ब्रेन सिर्फ उतना ही लिमिटेड पर्सपेक्टिव्स को देख पा रहा है क्योंकि उसने हैबिट बना लिए अपने थॉट एंड फीलिंग, थॉट एंड फीलिंग, थॉट एंड फीलिंग। बचपन में मेरे साथ ऐसे कुछ हुआ जो मुझे याद भी नहीं है आज, बिकॉज ऑफ विच आई हैव क्रिएटेड सर्टेन हैबिट्स फॉर माई सेल्फ। I would have watched today, for example, let's say a lot of people do smoking, right? A lot of people smoke. Now you won't think, oh, they'll be like, "Arey, iski family mein koi bhi nahi karta." It's such a fad. Maybe as a child, the only reason why, maybe as a youngster, you hated smoking and you're like, no, no, no. But when you are in an office environment, suddenly you don't even realize it. You're thinking, no, yeah, I'm so stressed. You picked up a cigarette. Now you will think, oh, this is not a habit. This is not an old habit. This to bachpan se I did not like it or I didn't do it then, but I'm doing it now. When you go behind the science of why you actually picked up that cigarette, you will see there's either you wanting to fit into the group, you want to break away from something. आप अपने existing circumstances से भागना चाहते हो. बचपन में or during your younger days, you had other coping mechanisms to deal with this running away situation. Maybe you showed your anger on your food, or you wrote, or you whatever you did. You had a different coping mechanism. But as you grow older, just because your that feeling has not changed, but your way of dealing with that feeling has changed. So even if you didn't smoke earlier, now because you want a quick escape route to deal with those feelings, जो आपको नहीं समझ में आ रहा क्या हो रहा है, you end up picking a habit. Now you think, oh, I want to stop. I want to get up. I've heard so many people, so many CA friends of mine saying, मैं सुबह ही नहीं उठ पाता. I just can't get up in the morning. You know why you can't get up in the morning? Because you've not decided for yourself in the morning that you want to get up. आपने अपने आप को एक strong enough intent नहीं रखा है. In your mind, you're like, what is the big deal? The belief system is that it doesn't really matter if I get up or not. I will anyway have to work hard. मेरा पूरा दिन तो anyway ऐसे जाने वाला है. तो सुबह उठने का क्या फायदा है? Your body knows better than the mind, and hence your body is not triggering you to wake up in the morning. But the minute you break that loop of thought and feeling, you are able to create a completely new personality for yourself. भले आपको नहीं पता कि आपके बचपन में ऐसे आपके अंदर आपके माइंड के अंदर what sort of belief systems you have. You don't know about it. You're just still thinking, okay, fine, there must be some belief system. You don't know about it. But if you want to break that belief system today, the first thing is you can change your thoughts. You have to be able to change your thoughts because that's the only way that you can work on breaking that cycle of thought to feeling to emotion to habit and personality. Now, I want to explain the other thing, the other example where we took the board, Adelson illusion. Now, Adelson illusion is a wonderful experiment and आप सब लोग उसको research भी कर सकते हैं. 1995 में 1995 में MIT के professor थे Edward Adelson, who did two things. He wanted to prove perception. How does actually perception work? So what did your brain doesn't just see light, it interprets it. Okay. Right now, if the light is coming from my face right now, you already know where I'm sitting. You already know which side I'm facing. You're already able to perceive a lot of things which maybe if that light was not there, आपको नहीं दिखेगा. तो जब वो cylinder रखा हुआ था, वो object, let me just share that screen again with you. What the freaking hell? Okay. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So you're able to see this, right? So this cylinder is actually blocking the viewpoint of this object. This is the original. A and B are actually absolutely the same colors. But in the absence of light, that is, this object is stopping it, you're thinking they're absolutely two different colors. Now, what this actually means is that if we don't have light constancy, this illusion simply demonstrates that if you don't have lightness constancy, the brain's ability to perceive color or brightness of an object has to be maintained. Even in a dark room, आपका eyes adjust हो जाता है देखने के लिए कि आपको क्या ढूंढना है. That's the brain's perception. But when it's over compensated, our brain starts to create an illusion. Now this is just the simple thing about light illusion. Okay, अगर सिर्फ लाइट को परसीव करने के लिए आपका दिमाग इतने सारे circumstances create करता है, so it makes you wonder what is actually real. Today, whatever perception that you have about yourself, about your life, about people, about society, they're all perceptions. There is no truth in them at all. They're all just your belief systems. This entire world is just functioning on belief systems. Even this committee right now is functioning on the belief system that अगर बहुत सारे लोगों को हम mental well-being के बारे में बताएंगे, they will get motivated to change their life. Now, actually, what happens when you start believing? When you start giving your brain new information. Now, this is why I wanted to bring this particular topic up. Whenever you see, जब आपका ब्रेन को डिजाइन करना होता है, just like you have to decide उस स्पिनिंग डांस लेडी के एग्जाम्पल में या हमारे चेकरबोर्ड एग्जाम्पल में, whenever you want to decide what direction that thing is happening or whether it's the same color or not, your brain also decides which part of the reality you choose to focus on. भले वो डेप्थ हो, तो डेप्थ के बारे में वो कैसे उसका परसेप्शन है, वो कैसे एक्सपीरियंस करना चाहता है, या वो कलर हो. ओके, आपके दिमाग में अगर वो इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं ऑलरेडी बैठी तो आप अपने एनवायरमेंट में वो ढूंढ ही नहीं सकते हो. No one will be able to see it. In fact, there's a very famous example, and if I can pull that up for you, the FedEx logo. When FedEx defined its logo, and I'm just going to quickly share that on the screen. I don't know if you're able to see it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Able to see it.
Okay. I will zoom in further so you're able to see it much better. Can you see this? You know, FedEx's logo is a wonderful example of perception. सब लोगों ने सोचा है कि फेडेक्स ये दो कलर्स क्यों रखा है, कलर साइकोलॉजी बहुत यूज किया है इन लोगों ने, बट द मिनट आई टेल यू फेड एक्स दैट इट्स सुपर फास्ट, कैन यू सी द एरो बिटवीन ई एंड एक्स?
Now that you have pointed, yes.
Yeah, that's what FedEx. So these are sudden. I mean, if you see Amazon, there's a smile
A
towards
to Z. Yeah.
it's all it's a smile. They're delivering smiles. That's their core brand philosophy. A to Z आप बोल रहे हो because that's how you perceive it. But their thing was they did multiple things. Now that's how your brain functions. जब तक मैंने आपको बताया नहीं था वो, अब जब भी आप FedEx का लोगो देखोगे आपको बहुत एविडेंटली वो आपको एरो दिखेगा ही दिखेगा. जब भी आप ऐसे ऑप्टिकल इल्यूजन वाले देखोगे, बिकॉज अब आपके माइंड में एक जानकारी आई है. You have information inside your mind. Now that is one of the reasons why these kind of workshops are being planned, so that we can perceive these thoughts and come out of these thoughts. A lot of these thoughts are redundant. On an average, in a day, we think 50 to 70,000 thoughts, all of which are just recycled thoughts. 90% of our thoughts are based on past belief systems and patterns. If today you say, I want to become a millionaire, okay, or I want to change my habits and I want to choose healthier habits, or like, okay, you know what, I want work life balance, let's say for example that's what you think. But if your thoughts are still of the past saying I can't do it, this is too difficult, um पैसे ऐसे ही थोड़ी पेड़ पे उगते हैं करके अगर आपकी वही बिलीफ सिस्टम्स पास के रहेंगे, you can never create a new reality for yourself. If you want to create a new reality for yourself, you will have to break the thought patterns. You will have to break the different kinds of clutters of those 50 to 70,000 thoughts जो 90% recycle होके आपके दिमाग में चल रहे हैं, उसको आपको break करना ही होगा. And what's beautiful is that to break these thought patterns, you don't need any person, you don't need any guru, you don't need any mantra, you don't need any chanting, you don't need any Babaji or Bhagwan. You can simply do the most simple thing, and that's breathing. When we breathe and when we breathe together, we create a wonderful, remarkable change inside our brain. When we are doing fast breathing, यानी कि जब आप अपने चेस्ट की ऊपर से जब आप ब्रीदिंग करते हैं, और आप देखेंगे अक्सर when you're angry, when you're stressed, when you're overthinking, you'll realize all of these, एक तो फास्ट ब्रीदिंग की वजह से ऑक्सीजन भी नहीं पहुंचता, ऑक्सीजन नहीं पहुंचता तो आपकी सेल्स की लाइफ कम होती जाती है, बिकॉज द सेल्स आर नॉट गेटिंग इनफ एनर्जी टू रिचार्ज themselves, to rewire themselves. Your brain is thinking still in the past because your brain does not have enough energy to fuel to change itself. So your brain is in a constant fight or flight response. तो आपका जो डीपर ब्रेन है जिसमें आप चेंजेस लाना चाहते हो, एक फ्यूचर पॉजिटिव फ्यूचर रियलिटी अपने लिए क्रिएट करना चाहते हो, उसके पास एनर्जी नहीं है क्योंकि आपकी ब्रीदिंग कम है, शैलो है, and you're in constant overthinking mode, which is the beta brainwave mode. But let's say, for example, you do nice, simple, deep breathing, and you don't have to focus on anything. Just aapki swas, your breath, that the one that's coming in and the one that's going out. Just breathing, just simple, natural breathing. When you're able to focus on that, immediately you activate those parts of your brain because your brain is not in fight or flight response. Oh my God, I'm not getting enough energy because oxygen gives our body energy every time we breathe. The science of breath says every time that we breathe, and in a day on an average we breathe about 20,000 times, in a minute we breathe 6 times. So जब भी हम सांस लेते हैं, हमारे बॉडी के अंदर एक वंडरफुल केमिकल रिएक्शन चल रहा होता है. हर पार्ट, हर सेल in my body is getting energized. My brain is getting the signal that Alekhia's body is at rest. So the brain can actually focus on other things. It's no longer thinking, okay, इसका heart को normalize करना है, इसकी brain के thought patterns को change करना है. Nothing. Brain is just thinking, okay, we have to keep Alekhya alive. But if I'm in deep breathing state, the first thing that I can do is I can activate everything which is causing, I immediately calm my body down. My stress hormones reduce. I'm in a calm state. And when I'm calm, sab jante hain ki if you're in a calm state, you can take better decisions. No one wants to be a slave to their past. Everyone knows ki gussa nahi karna chahiye. Everyone knows that we should be really positive. But because we don't have enough energy inside our body to deal with these situations, because we don't spend enough time with ourselves, we are always living in that fight or flight response of past habits and emotions. So, the simplest way in which we can come back to ourselves, to connect to our true self, to go back to that original जब हम अपने mom की womb से पैदा हुए थे, and we had no perceptions, no belief system, nothing. We were raw, innocent, pure, full of looking at life as an adventure. To really go back into that state of calm, peace, creativity, just being with the breath. And it's so, so, so easy. Every day, as per your age, if you can spend time with your breath, that is enough. Every time that you are with the breath, जब भी आप आंखें बंद करते हो, और उस समय थॉट्स तो बहुत ही आएंगे, आते ही हैं. आप आंखें बंद करोगे, the first thing you're going to think is, when do I open my eyes? Don't focus on that thought. If that thought comes, come back to your breath. Now, what happens when you don't focus on that thought? You are going back into the past thought, the thought which is saying this is new. आपका ब्रेन को नया इंफॉर्मेशन दे रहे हो ना, तो ब्रेन अलर्ट हो जाएगा और ब्रेन अपने पास्ट हैबिट्स में जाना चाहेगा. ओके, लेट्स गो बैक, चलो 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 चलो. So when that thought comes, leave it and come back. When that thought comes, what actually is happening is, and you come back to your breath, you are breaking that. वो जो आपके अंदर जो 100 trillion connections नहीं बने of highways which are running inside your body like a jungle, like this घना jungle which is inside your body of old habits. एक करके वो उस हाईवे को आप तोड़ रहे हो. Every time a thought comes and you come back to your breath, you break a bit of that old habit. You are training your mind literally to break all past programmings ताकि जब कोई भी सिचुएशन अब आपके सामने आए, आपके पास कोई पास्ट डेटा नहीं है which limits you. आपका पास्ट डेटा हर वक्त आपको लिमिट करेगा. We saw it as an experiment, right? You are trying to look for only that which is there inside in front of you. You're not even thinking कि कुछ और हो सकता है. You're like, ये क्या बोल रहे हैं? And I was like, oh, कुछ और भी हो सकता है. But the minute I showed it to you, you're like, oh yeah, that is available. That is possible. For you to be able to see that situation completely, to be in that new state of receiving, you have to break old habits. And old habits can be broken very, very, very easily, but with consistent practice. So today, I invite all of you all to join us for this wonderful session to meditate together. Meditation is simply the act of being with the natural breath. केवल अपनी, एंड देयर आर 108 टेक्निक्स, ओके, जो लोग बताते हैं. आप बहुत सारे टेक्निक्स के बारे में बात कर सकते हैं. कोई विपासना कहता है, कोई सुदर्शन क्रिया कहता है, कोई इवन द टेक्निक दैट आई एम टीचिंग, इट्स कॉल्ड आनापानसति मेडिटेशन. बट forget about that. The same technique outside of the country, I found this to be the simplest, easiest technique that you can practice anytime, anywhere. If you're traveling, you can meditate. If you're sitting in a workspace and you just want a 10-minute break, you can meditate. If you are In the morning you can meditate, in the night you can meditate, नहाने के पहले you can meditate, नहाने के बाद you can meditate, खाना खाने के बाद you can meditate, खाना खाने के पहले you can meditate anytime, anywhere, and in any situation. Because meditation is the technique, simple tool of connecting back to your breath. Meditation is the technique in which, it's the simplest technique in which, when you are with the breath, you make your mind completely relaxed by moving it from a beta brainwave state to an alpha brainwave state, and consciously rewiring and reprogramming your brain. So the theme today, recharging and refocusing, both happen simultaneously when we are with the breath. जब आप सांसें लेते हो, so in a day, like I explained, right, every day in the night हम सोते हैं, और नींद के समय पर 5 to 8 minutes ऐसे आता है जब हम पूरी तरीके से डीप स्लीप स्टेट में होते हैं, when we're in that alpha and deep delta brainwave state, when we're completely relaxed, when my body is getting all the energy that it needs. But subah utkar, I feel all my excessive thinking, environment, the technology, all the vibrations are pulling, the 5G radiations, everything is reducing my energy. But when I meditate anytime, I can immediately recharge myself. We'll demonstrate it today so you can have a practical experience. Refocus. How do we do refocus? Because you can only focus on what you think you know. That's based on your perception. But if you want to refocus yourself, you will have to come out and create a new perception in your mind. When your body knows better than the mind, it's become a habit. आप जानते भी नहीं हो, बट अगर कोई मैसेज आज आपको अगर आप अभी, मैं आपको 2 घंटे आपके फोन से ले जाऊं, आप देखिएगा आप दिन में कितने बारी अपना फोन चेक करते हो. You're trigger happy now. You see in a day how many times you measure your screen time, and you'll be able to tell how many times in a day do you find yourself looking for notifications on your phone. We're all trigger happy. We don't know what we want to focus on. We're completely distracted. I'm sitting for a task, but I have 3 other things that are happening because I have notifications coming. So if I want to really refocus, I need to reprogram my brain to condition it into the reality that I want to create for myself. And that will happen when we all meditate. So I'll request everyone meditation. We'll all sit in meditation. Um, I'll also be sharing the music, but we will be guiding ourselves. So just close your eyes, cross your fingers, cross your legs. So it's very simple. So the first step, just sit in a very, very, very relaxed posture. As you can see in the image, just cross your fingers and cross your legs. You don't need to necessarily sit on the floor. आप अगर चेयर पे बैठे हैं तो बस आपको एक के ऊपर एक पैर लगाना है, हाथों को ऐसे आप क्रॉस कर लीजिए. Yeah, just cross your fingers, interlock them one into the other. Cross your legs. If you're wearing glasses, अगर आप चश्मे पहने हैं, you can remove them. There is no need for it. We'll be doing a short 20 minutes or 20 to 25 minutes guided meditation. Just close your eyes gently and just be with your natural breaths. Just watch your breath going in and coming out. Just watch your breath going in and coming out. Whenever your thoughts take you away from this moment, come back to your breath. Watch every thought passing by like a wave in the river. We have infinite potential in this very moment. With every breath, we are going deeper and deeper into meditation. With every breath, the space between our thoughts is increasing, and a lot of cosmic energy is flowing through our body. To let go of the past and unleash the power of the present. Become one with your natural breath. Allow yourself to experience this deep calm. We are all going deeper and deeper into meditation. allow yourself to merge into your breath. Just be with your natural, normal, easy, soft, simple, tender, tranquil breath. Last 3 minutes. Just be with your natural breath. With every breath, we are rewiring our old patterns, shattering these old belief systems, and are stepping into the new reality. Last 1 minute. You slowly, slowly come out of this state. Last 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Slowly place the palms of your hands on your eyes for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And open your eyes once you're ready. Welcome back. A big clap for all of us. I'm sure you guys can share how you feel. This technique is so very simple. It can be done anytime, anywhere, like I already mentioned earlier. Minimum time to do it. If you're beginning, I would recommend 20 minutes. Any track that's available, nice, soft instrumental music or frequency music. But as you grow, and if you want to make this a habit, then the best thing to do is keep up this regular practice for minimum of 21 days. So it takes 21 days to break an old habit. and 20 days to make a new habit. So जो भी
Okay.
आदत को आप तोड़ना चाहते हो आपको, but not with that intent, because आप intent के साथ बैठोगे तो वो नहीं होगा, because the brain works in a jungle. आपको लगेगा आप एक आदत को तोड़ना चाहते हो, but the subconscious has something else which is it's stuck to. So regular practice, but starting minimum 20 minutes. As you grow and you make it a consistent habit, so as per your age. So if you're 50 years, 50 minutes, 20 years, 20 minutes, utna minimum आप करिएगा. That works. And yeah, and you will be able to see some remarkable benefits. I personally have been meditating for almost 17 years now. In my house, in my family, we do not take any medicines because we know that all diseases are psychosomatic. So, gussa रोक के रखा है, suppressed anger, you will get fever. Too much going on in your life, you will get a cough and cold. तो हमें लगता है कि weather change is one of the reasons, but every disease has a psychological and emotional reason behind it. So with meditation, we also self-heal. Meditation is great. So we run a company using, and all our employees also meditate because concentration and efficiency has improved tremendously. It creates, that group consciousness. Working for that target is much easier because working environment, there's coherence. Everyone is dreaming, has the same vision. So it's not a top-down approach. Boss ne bola, isliye maine kiya. I feel motivated. I want to work for that cause, and that's how meditation helps in groups, in offices. So we recommend that every office practice it. As CA professionals, you can also recommend it to your not just to your colleagues but also to your clients because it's wonderful. The most successful companies in the world, tech companies in the world, they have all implemented meditation as a mindfulness practice to really, really, really enhance productivity. सो अपने लिए एक मौका देने लेने के लिए आज आप सबको थैंक यू, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. थैंक यू सो मच टू द एंटायर कमिटी for taking this wonderful initiative. And yes, if you have any questions, we'll be happy to take them up. I guess we have time, right, Millie?
Yes, yes, ma'am. We have time. Ma'am, I have one question. So, this meditation, first of all, thank you for reconnecting me to meditation. I have studied in Vedic school, so I've been doing it for I don't know how many years, but I have
Wonderful.
stopped doing since I became a CA. I stopped doing. So, thanks
No,
for reconnecting me to it. Yes,
हमें
yes.
सबसे ज्यादा जरूरत है.
It felt sad. Yes, 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 ma'am. It's required because the amount of pressure, the continuous deadlines. I'm in practice, so the continuous every day is a deadline. So it's good. It's good. So I'll be doing that very often. I have a question. I have a question. So the thing is that you said that our brain, there is a subconscious, right? And we unintentionally tend to stick to our subconscious. So I there are a lot of things, just like you said, that how we are reacting, why we are reacting is related to a suppressed memory of our childhood or any trauma or anything. So do you have any recommendation how to get over that? Because I know I know there are a lot of patterns on how I react, but I just don't know how to stop it. It's like I tend to overshare some things. Okay, when I am in that motion or something, I tend to overshare some things, and then after a while, I like why did I say that? So I cannot unstop it. So
So let
do
me break
you?
this down into two parts. Okay. So the first part is the awareness, which is coming to you later. Correct. You know that you shouldn't say it, but the reaction time to process the बोलने के बाद होता है. So,
Yes.
abhi, like for example, when you meditated, right? Today, let's say you meditated after a long time, तो आपके thoughts के बीच में first thought and second thought के बीच में, let's say few seconds का ही gap था. एक thought आया, फिर दूसरा thought आया. For example, okay? But as you keep on practicing, what will happen? First thought and second thought के बीच में space increase होना शुरू होता है. Now, you can call the space between this as awareness. Of course, awareness is much deeper. Vedantic, you've studied in a Vedantic school, so you know awareness is much deeper. But for the purpose of scientifically to understand this, the space between two thoughts is awareness. You know, you have your reaction time, or rather your response time, increases. Before meditation, your reaction time is very short. Impulse, stimulus from outside, Brain has processed, thought has happened, emotion has happened, action has taken place, correct? And that's why that repetitive pattern. So the first part is regular practice of meditation increases your awareness. आपका जो रिएक्शन टाइम है वो प्रोलॉन्ग कर देता है. ये नहीं कि आपको गुस्सा नहीं आता उस समय जब आप रेगुलर प्रैक्टिस और मेडिटेशन करते हैं, गुस्सा आएगा, बट आपको पता है कि आई एम फीलिंग एंग्री. And at that point, like Jay sir said, I have a choice. Do I want to react and go into the same pattern, or do I want to choose something differently? Okay. So the regular practice of meditation gives you that space, which is very, very important. Because if deadline is coming, my immediate trigger in my emotional trigger is I feel stressed. Oh my God, if I don't achieve it, what will happen? If I don't achieve it, what will happen is long list of fears. I'm not good enough. I'm a failure. I've not made it. People will judge me. I'm not accepted. ये सारे belief systems attached है इसके साथ. Correct? हमें पता भी नहीं है, बट उस समय हमें क्या लग रहा है, स्ट्रेस फील कर रहे हैं. बट इसके पीछे सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में बहुत सारे बिलीफ सिस्टम्स है. नाउ व्हेन रेगुलर प्रैक्टिस से आप अपने रिएक्शन टाइम को इंक्रीज करते हैं. But with all, and another thing happens through regular practice, you also become aware of where this pattern is coming from. अभी आपको pattern दिख रहा है, but you don't know the source of the pattern because आप introspect नहीं कर रहे हो. When you watch your thoughts, first stage you cut your thoughts. Second, you watch your thoughts. Oh, okay, this is where it's coming from. Internally, your subconscious mind will start guiding you. You will start noticing changes. इसमें meditation के साथ आप दो और practices increase कर सकते हो. First is a concept called mirror neurons. Okay, the mirror neuron concept is the circle of influence in your life. The five people who you spend the most amount of time with in your life are the people who influence your mind regularly. तो अगर आप देखना चाहते हो कि आपकी लाइफ में आप प्रोग्रेस कर रहे हो कि नहीं, आपको पता चलेगा कि आपकी लाइफ में क्या वही 5 लोग रहे हैं कांस्टेंट. Friends, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about people you have regular interaction with. Okay. And you will see in every phase of your life, you would have had these 5 people. So the mirror neuron concept basically is you are inspired and you ape each other's behaviors. तो आप सज्जन सांगत्य के माध्यम से आप एक अवेयरनेस, एक कॉन्टेम्पलेटिव प्रैक्टिस के थ्रू यू बिकम अवेयर दैट ओके दिस इज व्हाट इज हैपनिंग. Along with this sajjan sangatya, now you know that I don't want to be with the people who are reacting in the same way. So you have to choose a different crowd. So this is a conscious effort. Now आप क्या कर रहे हो, आप अपने एक्शन को कॉन्शियसली चूज कर रहे हो एक नए रियलिटी को क्रिएट करने के लिए. बिकॉज यू नो लॉन्गर यू आर सीइंग दैट लिविंग इन द पास्ट इज नॉट हेल्पिंग यू क्रिएट अ न्यू फ्यूचर. आप सेम पास्ट से सेम फ्यूचर ही क्रिएट करोगे ना. आप आपको एक डिफरेंट प्रेजेंट चूज करना पड़ेगा, देन ओनली यू कैन क्रिएट अ न्यू फ्यूचर. So one is Sajjan Sangatya, choosing your circle of influence around you, the people who you want, whose behavior do you want to mirror. So people who you're inspired by. So let's say, for example, you want to be a very successful CA. So surround yourself with people who are powerful, who are successful, who are constantly dreaming and driving you in that direction. Or let's say you want to be of service. So be amongst those people who are doing a lot of service, जो NGO work में है, and you can consciously seek them out. Or when you give your RAS that information ना कि now I am ready, मैं तैयार हूँ अभी अपने लाइफ में कुछ चेंज करने के लिए, information देना है. Information is conscious action, conscious command to your brain. Now I am ready. I am completely ready to make that change. Your RAs in your environment will try to find that new information. बिकॉज आप अपने पुराने पैटर्न से निकलने के लिए अपने ब्रेन को एक नया कमांड दिया है. दैट्स अ फर्स्ट. सेकंड, गिविंग योर ब्रेन न्यू इंफॉर्मेशन थ्रू बुक्स. राइट बुक्स, स्वाध्याय, रीडिंग स्व अध्याय. आई एम सेइंग दिस बिकॉज यू स्टडीड इन अ वेदांतिक स्कूल. स्व अध्याय, अपने स्वयं के ऊपर अध्ययन करना, तो
Self
चिंतन
study.
करना, सेल्फ स्टडी. सो Chintan and reading all the books of the masters, all masters, not just one master, all masters. Let's say you want to become, you want to learn about investing. You must read all Warren Buffett books. You must watch his documentaries. आपके brain को सारी वो जानकारी देनी चाहिए ताकि it knows what information to get from the external environment. Let's say I'm in the media industry. So now all I'm thinking is with the changing technology, satellite technology is changing. We're now moving into the 5G era. Starlink is coming. So now I have to be amongst all of those entrepreneurs, startups, people who are thinking, dreaming, visionary products. Virtual reality, augmented reality, they're all realities. Meta is already researching on 3D holographic marketing. So we have to create content for that. So I have to read those kind of books. I have to keep, because जब तक मैं अपने brain को signal नहीं दूंगी, how can I create that new reality for myself? Because all of our lives right now is conditioned to our past. तो आपको अपने environment को भी कहीं ना कहीं पे धीरे 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 change करना है. So meditation increases reaction time, makes you more aware, makes you empowered to make the right choice. And for long term, to really see the change for manifestation of this new person that you want to truly be. We think we are, but we are not. So what you really want to be, make those conscious actions. So self study, get the information for your brain and your circle of influence. Because सबसे ज्यादा influence हमारे group members ही हमें करते हैं.
Exactly.
Constantly same. And it's not like you discard them. It's not like your feelings have changed. You're leaving people behind. You're just choosing a better reality. And you are giving them an opportunity also to choose a new reality for themselves. So yeah, I hope that answered your question, Millie.
Yes, I have to keep practicing meditation, I guess.
Yes, I mean there are so many ways. Aajkal, there's so many apps. Our channel also has an app. Everyone, there's all the tools are available. आपको बस एक कदम आगे उठाना है, बोलना है, I am ready now to bring that change. It's that sea of change that we have to cross from the old self and the new self that we want to be. Yes,
Okay. Ma'am, we have a few questions. One is
sure.
from Sumit Jain. He says, how to break a pattern.
I just answered the question. Pattern is so if you want to explain, understand a pattern scientifically, it's just a neural pathway that is very well established because it's been done repetitively. Simple thing, what hand do you brush your teeth with? Which side of the bed do you get up from? कुछ तकलिया कलाम होता है सबके. What is the word that you constantly repeat? Or are you a righty or a lefty? These are all patterns. They're just conditioned behaviors of the mind. And so the first thing is, अगर आदत बनी है तो आदत तोड़ सकते हैं. ये हमें जानना है. That's what the concept of neuroplasticity says. And to break that habit, first thing is you have to first make a choice. Today you have to decide that I am ready to do it. That itself is sending a command to your brain that now I am ready. And that's why I really like the way Jay sir said, like it's the willpower. I have to give that command. Even if you want to sit for meditation, जब तक आप decide नहीं करते वो होगा नहीं ना.
Exactly.
इसको आई मीन मास्टर्स ने इतने तरीके से बोला, संकल्प से सृष्टि होता है. यू क्रिएट योर ओन रियलिटी. यू थिंक इट, देन ओनली इट विल हैपन. We think of thinking as a brain function, but thinking is you commanding. Were you not aware right now that thoughts were coming, thoughts were going? Thoughts आ रहे थे, thoughts जा रहे थे, correct? और आप अपने ध्यान को अपने सांसों के ऊपर लगा रहे थे. यानी कि कौन देख रहा है वो थॉट्स को? वो आप है. तो आपको अपने लिए तय करना है कि yes, I am ready to break that habit. Let's say it's just an addictive habit, okay? All addictive habits have a underlying thought process, a cause in the subconscious mind, something that we're unable to deal with or escaping from. And वो सब fears हैं. ये very natural. भगवत गीता में जो सबसे पहला श्लोक श्री कृष्ण भगवान ने बोला था, दरिद्र चीज जो होती है, सबसे दरिद्र चीज, शूद्र कास्ट नहीं, जो डर है हमारे अंदर, उसको हमें हटाना है. So to break a habit, very simply, first thing, don't do a lot of things. Just make meditation a daily practice. Every day as per your age. Learn to train your mind. Start to master your mind. Get a grip. अभी आप अपनी थॉट्स को भी नहीं कंट्रोल कर सकते. आप थॉट को कंट्रोल करने की कोशिश करोगे और थॉट्स आ जाएंगे.
Exactly.
So we don't get into the habit. Make it a muscle memory inside your brain that you can consciously choose to switch on and off whenever you want. When you are in that, when you have energized yourself, when you're in such command of what you want to think and feel, then you're slowly आप weak कर रहे हो वो पुरानी आदत. Every time a thought comes in your meditation and you come back to your breath, you break that past neural pathway a little bit. You उसका hold कम करना शुरू करते हो. जो इतना strong जो जकड़ के रखा हुआ, तो वो धीरे धीरे धीरे, it's like untying a rope knot. It takes time, but it will happen. जितना डीप रूटेड वो सबकॉन्शियस मेमोरी है आपका, उतना समय वो ज्यादा लगेगा वो अननॉट करने के लिए. That's all. But it does happen. I mean, there's nothing that we cannot do. That's the reality. I can tell you my personal story. We are a crowd-funded company, public limited company, but how we raise money, we have such a huge operating cost expense. We are still trying to figure out our revenue model, but we believe that we're going to make it. Now, you need to have a thought, you need to believe in it so strong enough. It does not matter external circumstance. दूसरे लोग बोल नहीं सकते, कुछ भी हो सकता है. एक बंदा आके हमें 100 करोड़ देके चले जाए, कुछ भी हो सकता है. Who is defined that? We have to keep on believing. We have to keep on training the mind. That's what all the successful people have said. You have to choose yourself. And neuroplasticity happens naturally when we meditate. Of course, जब हम कुछ नया सीखते हैं, then also we are training our brain to be neuroplastic because we're learning, giving it a new skill set. But consistency again, मुझे लगा मेडिटेशन एक ऐसी चीज है जो हम कभी भी कहीं पर भी कर सकते हैं. तो आई डोंट हैव टू गो एंड लर्न अ म्यूजिकल इंस्ट्रूमेंट. अब मुझे इतना टाइम एफर्ट मनी लगाना पड़ रहा है. ये फ्री का है, घर बैठे बैठे कभी भी कर सकते हो. सो द मोस्ट इफेक्टिव फॉर मी, आई थिंक, टू ब्रेक एन हैबिट, the first easiest step is meditation. Yeah.
Oh, ma'am. Ma'am, people are thanking you for the 20-minute meditation session. Everyone is feeling peaceful. Thanks a lot, including me. Okay, I don't think so. We have any more questions, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. I have to inform one thing to the audience that we have daily virtual fitness session under FitCA movement. Yoga session from Monday to Saturday, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. Zumba session Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 8 to 9 a.m. So, where you can see this in YouTube, CA Tube, there is a channel. So, you can see it live. And also, if you want to know the Work Life Balance Committee's updates, so please visit the page of Work Life Balance Committee in ici.org website. Now, moving forward to concluding this session, ma'am. As we come to the close of this wonderful session, let me take a moment to sincerely thank our speaker, Alekhya Shastri, ma'am, for such a thought provoking and soul nourishing presentation. Your guidance today will surely help us pause, reflect, and begin prioritizing our wellness. A heartfelt thank you to CA Jayachera sir, our chairman for this committee, for your inspiring presence and constant encouragement. And to our wonderful participants, thank you for your enthusiasm and attention. We hope the session helped you recharge and take back valuable insights. Before we conclude, we kindly request you all to fill out the feedback form. Your responses help us improve and curate better sessions in the future. Stay mindful, stay balanced, and stay well. Thank you and have a peaceful evening ahead. Yes, ma'am, I guess. Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks, Millie. Yamvada ma'am, I was not aware you were supposed to, मैंने आपको बोला था meditation session रहेगा. Because practical session is very important. ज्ञान ज्ञान देंगे तो उनको